Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm getting going early today. The market has started to crawl back. We've got XRP up over 64 cents. It's up 9% today. We've got a Bitcoin that's at 34,000. So, you know, anytime we have these pullbacks, we normally, after a few days, have some major green days. We'll see how fast it comes back. There's a couple of these guys that are weighing in. They were being asked a lot of questions. Dark Defender says, everyone's asking me if I keep my targets for XRP or not. Yes, all targets. I'm 100% sure most of you have checked my pinned tweet, but most of you probably overlooked the second red path. I encourage you to check again. It was not walking. It was not a walking, gentlemen. That tweet was sent on February 21st. Okay, so I haven't been looking at some of these tweets, but this one's from Credible Crypto. People are getting up, and just as an aside, anytime the market goes down, people that loved numbers yesterday, when the market goes down, those are the people that are angry about seeing numbers today. I've seen this 1,000 times. This is part of it. There's a much bigger picture going on. I'll show you here in a minute, because someone from Ripple makes the point better than I could. But Credible Crypto says, people getting upset that I refuse to say this is a bear market, LOL. I don't know what to say. Criteria hasn't been met, just like how during the March crash, I said as long as we don't go below 3K lows, we're fine. We hit 3,900, bullish count held, and we were fine. And then he's talking, this is one of his tweets here. And then this guy says, what if 64K to 28K is wave 2? He says, I think our drop from 14K to 3,800 was major wave 2. This drop 64 to 28 is major wave 4. But yeah, idea's right. This is a major correction, but expecting another major wave to upside, wave 5, once it's complete. And then this guy says, I like it, but where's your wave 5 target? Somewhere above 100K, but below 300K. Of course, they're talking about Bitcoin there. Wave 5. I don't understand any of their chart talk, but it's interesting to me to read it. And so I figured it'd be interesting to you. Okay, now Monica Long, she is the general manager of RippleX for Ripple on a mission to enable Internet of Value. She said that she quotes Chris Larson, the genie's out of the bottle and you can't put it back in. With each new institutional offering, crypto's place in the future, financial infrastructure. Time for private-public collaboration and clear regulation, not crackdowns. Hashtag ban on bans. All right, so she was interviewed by CNN International, and I clipped out the video, and Monica Long makes very good points in this video.
The company continues to grow. So since the SEC case was brought against Ripple, we've added 20 new customers to RippleNet, the network that makes cross-border payments more efficient around the world. And we continue to grow and expand the business. Regarding the case, we continue to feel very confident that we are on the right side of the facts and the law here, and we do look forward to getting through it.
Okay, and Monica, if you take this though in consideration with what's going on globally, I know you wouldn't be impacted.
I want you to listen to this part, because I've been here a long time, folks. I've seen a lot. Listen to what this woman said. Oh, there's a China crackdown. And then listen to what Monica Long says.
China crackdown directly, but it does speak to the broader issue as to regulators trying to hurry up here and come to some agreement on how to regulate this space. I mean, what is your impression? Does this continue to be just a massive overhang on the price, and will we continue to see volatility until there's more consensus globally on how authorities should handle the crypto market?
What we're seeing in China, as Arjun had said, it's not new. So this was a cryptocurrency ban the government came out with in 2013, reiterated in 2017, and now we see it again in 2021.
Exactly. So she just makes the point, the point that I've been making, which is, I can't tell you how many times I've seen articles and stories and all this China's cracking down. China cracks down every other year. They just always happen to crack down when the market's going crazy. What a coincidence that is, right? So listen to what the rest of what she says.
Back of a big bull run across crypto. And so, regulators around the world are paying attention to it. We're seeing a lot of positive developments in global regulation. Places like Singapore, Japan, Switzerland, the UK, they've all come out with clear regulatory frameworks for crypto assets and how they'll treat them. And I think it's notable that with this latest surge in cryptocurrency market activity between 2020 and 2021, it's different. It's institutional adoption. It's major banks like DBS and JP Morgan and Citi and major financial players like PayPal and Square opening up new crypto offerings. And so we do feel within the industry that we've reached this watershed turning point where crypto really is going to become the new money and the new financial infrastructure for more efficient financial systems.
I literally, when I first started buying digital assets back in 2013, I literally remember sitting on my back patio and having a conversation with someone and saying, my concern, the only thing that's got me nervous about owning this stuff, and this is when you could only buy it on Coinbase. There were no other platforms, or there was like one or two maybe, and you didn't know what you were dealing with. I remember having a conversation on my back patio where I was like, my biggest concern is I don't know if the freaking FBI is going to show up at my door and ask me if, or because, and tell me this is not legal to even to own it. That's how far we've come, folks, just to put things in perspective. I didn't even know if what I was buying I didn't know if they were going to say it was illegal to be buying it. That's how we've come way, we don't have even a half, we don't even have a tenth or a 1/100th of the uncertainties that we did back then. That's why I laugh when I see these, well, I don't laugh, but when I see these markets go down, for me it's more of an eye roll. Okay, we got to go through this again. That's because I know, like what she was saying in that, now what we're dealing with is the infrastructures are now almost in place. That's what we're looking at now. It's a totally different place than where we were. And that's why all I do is buy these dips. And I feel like I'm starting to really understand who the big players are going to be as far as digital assets. And so I'm buying the dips with some of these, like I mentioned CeeLo yesterday, and Algorand, we've talked about a bunch of them. Of course, I never sell my XRP or my XLM. President-elect George Vijdelek, I guess I butchered his name, he sent me this, and Ron Hammond, who used to work at Ripple and is now, what's he doing? Director of Government Relations at the Blockchain Association. He retweeted this.
Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies, and cryptocurrency are playing a growing importance in our daily lives and are going to be an economic driver for the 21st century economy. Blockchain, in essence, is a fixed ledger. Once you add data or a transaction, it cannot be changed. Therefore, it makes the data have integrity. It makes sure that as we're doing transactions and adding data over the internet, that it can't be changed and that there's certainty to it. That's why it's so critical. And then once we add AI to analyze this fixed data, we could help solve some of the largest problems that we face as a nation. Healthcare, climate change, to be two examples. The delivery of personal protective equipment during a pandemic. And of course, cryptocurrency allows for small businesses in particular to provide services across the world without the transaction costs of exchanging currencies. It'll help with remittances and other ways that we can modernize our economy. It's essential that the United States continue to be a global leader in these emerging technologies to ensure our democratic values remain at the forefront of this technological development. Authoritarian regimes like China and Russia are investing heavily in these areas. It's absolutely critical for the free world to invest and to win the future in these areas. Also, as a responsible global leader, the United States must strike appropriate balance in providing an environment that fosters innovation while ensuring appropriate consumer protection.
Representative Darren Soto, one of the good guys in Congress. Okay, John Deaton had tweeted this out. Jay Clayton or William Hinman? If not one of them, it could be someone else that is identified in the records that have been turned over by the SEC. And this is James Phelan. He had tweeted this. SEC announces intention to file on Thursday, June 24th, 2021, a letter of motion to quash a deposition subpoena served by Ripple on a former SEC official. Briefing schedule below. So we don't know who they're trying to depose, but it's a former official. And I'm sure the SEC disagrees with this. Well, you can't do that. You can't actually have someone come in here and have to be accountable for filing a lawsuit and then walking out the door and throwing their hands up like they don't have to answer any questions, because they know that CNBC is not going to ask them any questions. That might be doing a journalistic job. So Andrew Ross Sorkin over at CNBC, he's not going to ask them any questions. And of course you couldn't subpoena them and make them come in and answer for what they did and be accountable. That would be crazy. So anyway, CryptoDim sent me this. I heard this is from CZ Bonnet, CEO of Bonnet. I heard CoinMarketCap, which he bought, will start to rank countries that accept crypto as legal tender. What they ought to do is start ranking who's working with central banks around the world and what are these CBDCs are going to be built on. That would be some interesting ranking. And also, CryptoDim sent me this. This is the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell being berated by a congressman, I guess.
One of your other projects you're working on, central bank digital currencies, is going to need to have a secure digital ID to allow people to transact in digital dollars in a safe way that can't be abused. And are you working internationally to try to get these secure digital IDs, as part of your negotiations on central bank digital currencies and others?
I think it's part of the discussion. I would say we're not as far along as your description would suggest on that, but that's it's certainly something you would need to be able to have it.
Will it be addressed in your white paper coming out this summer?
A lot of things will be addressed. I'm not sure if that would be it. That's something you certainly need that to down the road. We probably will be. We're just laying it out right now.
Yeah, no, it's important for our economic recovery as well as planning to respond to China, frankly, on central bank digital currencies. So move it up on your to-do list. Thanks much, and I yield back.
Wow, these congressmen, they don't play around sometimes. Then Riz XRP sent me this. This was from Zero Hedge. Meet Onyx, JP Morgan's own blockchain. Now, before I show you this, because what it reminded me of, I want to remind everyone, nobody ever said there's going to be one single blockchain. JP Morgan's going to have one. I'm sure Goldman Sachs is going to have their own. And all these things are going to be interoperable with each other. And some players are going to be bigger than other players. What I'm looking at, and the digital assets, I mean, I've always seen XRP and XLM as at the very top of the stack. And then you've got these others that have come along and been hatched out of places like MIT that are obviously connected to government and really big business. And those are the ones I focus on. And I'll give you a hint. Dogcoin is not one of those, okay? Any of these coins that have a picture of a dog on them, nothing against dogs, but none of those are in are the ones I'm looking at, okay? If I'm talking about it, they have some, because it's not just about the tech. In my world, it's about the connections and the people that are behind you and the companies and the governments that are behind what you're doing. And that's what I'm focused on. Now, when I saw this Onyx tweet, here's what I was reminded of. Remember this? And remember, a year ago when I was talking about these nodes being on satellites, I was a conspiracy guy and I was crazy, and you can't talk about that. We're the cancel culture. We didn't read that in an article, and so you can't say that. That was a year ago. Now is now. Notice this company, GOM Space, is the one that creates the satellites that JP Morgan was testing blockchain on, okay? I don't think that JP Morgan was the first to test that blockchain payments were going to be possible on satellites. This is GOM Space that JP Morgan tested that on. They actually have a Internet of Things. Look, these are the where was that? Let me see something here. Oh, it's right here. Right here. Their satellite solutions include the Internet of Things. Okay, so all things connected. But they literally have a picture of Internet of Things, and look at all of these nodes. Been saying it for a long time, but I was crazy conspiracy guy back then when I had the guts to say it when nobody else did. Michael at VAL5 Links sent me this. This is Wrath of Kahneman. A recent article in the Baltic Journal of Economics claims several Ukrainian banks are planning to connect to Ripple technology. Further, they note Ripple is already actively used by 3 Western banks. Okay, I wanted to remind everyone of something. Now listen up, this is important. Yesterday, Link2 had their global investor conference, okay? And in that investor conference, JP Tirrett from Uphold was on there. I hopped on there and decided to ask him a question. And the question I asked him was, because they've been selling Uphold private equity on the platform, and they still have some, but I'll bet that it won't be here more than a day or two, and I'll tell you why. Because yesterday I got on there, and you can see the video clips going around somewhere. Maybe I'll find it. But I got on there, and I told him, I said, JP, I've watched this Uphold private equity, and every time it comes on this platform, it's selling like hotcakes. When are you guys, what's your plan? When are you guys going public, or what do you want to do? I asked him what's in a perfect world, are you going to go public? Are you going to be bought? And he had tried not to answer that question about going public when somebody else had asked it, but I asked him again, and he said that as long as nothing crazy happens, that Uphold will be trying to go IPO within the next 6 months, folks. That's what he said. Okay? Now, things can get off course, but he said as long as nothing crazy happens. So now so we saw Coinbase go, and I keep telling you this time it's different from the perspective of the internet, the .com boom. This time it's the internet of value, but we have 2 different things going on. We have digital assets, and we also have the private equity that they had back during the .com boom. And there's also something major different this time, in my opinion. This time, these companies are making tons of money. Last time, all they had was a business plan and a lot of debt and a promise of, this has .com on the end, and therefore we're going to be huge, and then they had a collapse. But this time, these companies that are going public are real deal Holyfield, which is what we call it in my part of the world, since Evander Holyfield is from Georgia. But anyway, so go check out, if you haven't gone and looked at Link2, go to their platform. I'm betting it's not going to be there long. They put some more Uphold on yesterday because it keeps selling out. It's linqto.com. I also have links in the description. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. Uphold has a plan to try to at least begin going IPO within the next 6 months.